What is going on, guys, and welcome to the WWE Draft or the WWE SmackDown Live Review. Last night, I stayed up, I watched the draft live, and it was a mixed bag. I went into it very excited, and it was a good show, and I'm excited for the future, but I'm still, as I was initially when this draft brand extension was announced, apprehensive to say the least. Will be interesting to see where we are in 3 months' time and how well WWE have handled the brand extension. If done well, it could be very successful. Today, we're going to be running through the rosters, talking about top picks, better top card, better mid cards, better tag team, better divas. We're going to discuss in which roster has the better roster in that stretch, what this means for a secondary title, what this means for a secondary world title, and what this means for the future of WWE. I'm not going to be talking hardly at all about the matches that went on SmackDown, because that really wasn't what we were all there for. We were there for the draft, and I'm going to be announcing the new sort of rolling thing that I'm going to be having going on my channel between Raw and SmackDown. More on that in a little bit. Let's start, though. I know I said I weren't going to talk about matches. Let's start with the match, though, that we do need to talk about. Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins went off in the WWE Championship match. Dean Ambrose pinning Seth Rollins cleanly in the center of the ring, heading into Battleground as a SmackDown member as the WWE Champion. Will Reigns or Seth Rollins, or an opposing brand Monday Night Raw, win the title at Battleground? More on that on my predictions video, but you have to say it's more than likely, because the WWE Championship, you just feel like it belongs on Monday Night Raw. Let's get then into the draft. The first pick was Seth Rollins, top pick. Him, Owens, my first two picks if I was Raw General Manager, if I was in charge of the draft. So a great pick there. Dean Ambrose was top pick for SmackDown. But yeah, I'm not going to go through in an orderly way. I want to mention a couple of things. Cena and Orton, Lesnar not drafted in the first round, but Cena and Orton both on SmackDown Live. That was a bit of a shock, because I expected that show to be a bit about the new era. I expected to see the more Kevin Owens, the Sami Zayns on that show. In fact, they went on Raw, which is a little bit surprising. NXT call-ups. American Alpha, Finn Balor came as pick number 5, I think. Who else do we have? We had Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Nia Jax as well, and also was that? I feel like there must have been another one. So Finn Balor, American Alpha, Carmella, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax. I'm missing someone here. I'm missing an NXT call-up, and I can't think for the life. Oh, Mojo Rawley. Mixed bag for NXT. Was maybe, me personally was hoping for Nakamura. Wouldn't have mind seeing Austin Aries. Wouldn't have mind seeing Samoa Joe. Obviously, I knew not all of them could come up, but one of the three of them I'd have been content about. Mojo Rawley was someone that we should have expected. He's been on the main roster at live events for a long time. But yeah, let's get into it then. I thought the draft, it flowed well. The draft is what it is. It was never going to be edgy your seat drama, but it was entertaining nonetheless. And I enjoyed SmackDown Live for the most part. But let's get in then to reading out the full roster, and I'll read it out in full. Another thing I just want to note: Kevin Owens drafted very low. That pissed me off to say the least. Apollo Crews drafted ridiculously low. He was not even on the televised show, yet Big Show was. Frustrating to say the least. Charlotte drafted very high. I think number 2 pick. That shows the WWE really wants to go for it with the women's division. Other people that were drafted quite late. Rusev, Miz, I thought they were drafted relatively late, being so they're champions. I'd have expected them to come out as early picks, and yeah, I mean, that's probably about it. I thought everything else was okay in regards to where and when it was drafted. Alberto Del Rio was quite late drafted, or a late draft as well. But let's get into it then. Let's do the Raw roster. We've got Seth Rollins Adrian Neville, New Day, Charlotte, Roman Reigns, Cesaro, SAWFT, Sasha Banks, Finn Balor, Sheamus, The Club, or Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. Or is it Doc Gallows? I can't remember. Split up from AJ Styles. Nia Jax, Brock Lesnar, Big Show, Golden Truth, Paige, Sami Zayn, Titus O'Neil, Dudley Boys, Summer Rae, I don't think I said her, Chris Jericho, Darren Young, Shining Stars, Dana Brooke, Rusev, Sin Cara, Kevin Owens, Swagger, Henry, Strowman, Dallas, Axel. SmackDown Live, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, American Alpha, Becky Lynch, AJ Styles, Corbin, Usos, Natalya, Cena, Ziggler, Ascension, Naomi, Orton, Apollo Crews, Breezango, Bliss, Bray Wyatt, Kane, Vaudevillains, Eva Marie, Alberto Del Rio, Kalisto, Zack Ryder, Rowan Mojo Rawley, and Carmella. That's the SmackDown roster. That's the Raw roster. But let's get in to the top bit. And let me just talk to you about, first, what I'm going to be doing with SmackDown and Raw going head-to-head. I thought, they're going head-to-head in storyline. I thought, why don't we, on MrWWEcam's channel, have them going head-to-head as well. So, essentially what's going to happen is there's going to be different ways for the shows to get points. And the point system is going to be rolling. And we're going to see which is the better show. Excuse me. So I'll essentially talk today. Today's points on offer, we have 5 points for the best upper card, 5 points for the best mid card, 5 points for the best tag team division, 5 points for the best Divas division, 5 points for the best commentary team, and then a further bonus 10 points for the best roster in general, who I personally think had the better draft picks. So, there are a total for each team of 35 points up for grabs. That's if they were to clean it out completely. Who is going to be leading heading in to the following weeks? Now, following weeks, it will work as follows. I'll be doing a Raw review and I'll be doing a SmackDown review. On the SmackDown live review, at the end of the video, there will be more points up for grabs. I will work out an official how many points these will get, but these are the ideas that I've got at the moment. If you've got any ideas of other ways shows can gain points, leave it down in the comments below. We're going to have points for the best rating. The show that gets the best ratings. Now, that will more than likely be on the following week. So on the following week's Raw review, we'll do the rating points for the last week's shows, if that makes any sense. Then on SmackDown Live, we'll do the best match of the two shows. I'll pick one of the best matches, and that will get 5 points. So that's the plan at the moment. The best segment will get 5 points. Now, of course, if Raw has an absolutely stunning show, we can see Raw getting the best match, the best segment, the best show, which is 10 points. They could come out of it with 20 points. And of course, as well, I will be rating the shows out of 10, and then points will go on as well. So it's impossible for a show not to come away with anything. But if you've got any other ideas of what other ways shows can get points, at the moment I've got ratings, best match, best segment or promo, best show, and show rating. Any more ideas, leave it down in the comments below. But let's get into it then. Let's talk about Raw's top card. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar, Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho, Rusev, and Kevin Owens. Now let's take Brock Lesnar out of that, and we now have Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho, Rusev, and Kevin Owens. That is not a bad top card, to say the least. It has to be said. It's not all that bad at all. You know, big picks in Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Finn Balor, massive pick. You've then got the likes of the reason that this is maybe not as strong as it looks on paper is because Lesnar's not going to be there, hardly ever. Jericho, I can't see being that much longer. And then you've got the likes of Sami Zayn and Rusev, who I would say, due to the way WWE have booked them, are not quite there at the top card yet. They will develop into top tier people, it has to be said. But just as of yet, I'm not so sure that they are, you know, that top card is setting the world alight. But, you know, you've got matches. Let's say Rollins wins at Battleground. You've got the Reigns rematch. You've got the Balor rematch. You've got Lesnar Rollins again. You've got Zayn Rollins, Jericho Rollins, Rusev Rollins, Owens Rollins. Or, you know, let's go with Finn Balor winning the championship, or Sami Zayn winning the championship. Zayn Jericho, Rusev Jericho. I mean, I'm completely disbandishing the heels and faces here, but you've got the likes of an Owens Finn Balor feud. Who doesn't want to see that? An Owens Rollins feud if Rollins turns face. Reigns Rusev if Reigns stays face. Jericho versus Seth Rollins again if Rollins goes into a kind of heel, into a face. Sorry. Let's have a look at SmackDown Live's then top card. Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, John Cena, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, and Alberto Del Rio. Now on paper you'd probably say Raw, yes, stronger. You know, I've actually put 8 people in Raw's top card, and I've only put 5 in SmackDown's, and I've left the Intercontinental Champion out of it. But as I say, on paper Raw might look better, but Chris Jericho and Brock Lesnar are not going to be there, so I think it's pretty even. And for me personally, SmackDown has a bit of a stronger one. We've got the Styles-Cena feud, the Styles-Ambrose feud, the Cena-Ambrose feud, the Orton-Styles, Orton-Ambrose, Wyatt-Orton, Wyatt-Styles, love the idea of that, Wyatt-Ambrose again, Del Rio-Wyatt, that has a ring to it, Del Rio-Orton, Del Rio-Cena, Del Rio-Styles. I mean, there are some top matches there, it has to be said. And yeah, who's going to get the first points out of that lot will be interesting to see, and I'll reveal it in a minute. Who's going to be getting the first 5 points of the show? Now, I'm just going to have a look here, and I'm just thinking to myself, logically, Kevin Owens has a big chance to be a big player on Monday Night Raw. He really does. Alberto Del Rio, I've put him in the top one, but I could have put any of... there's a lot of people in that SmackDown mid-card that I could have put in the top card for SmackDown in place of Del Rio. There's that one spot. Wyatt, Orton, Cena, Styles, Ambrose. They're pretty much certain that they're going to be the top stars. You've then got a group of mid-carders who could make the step up. Maybe Ziggler, maybe Corbin, maybe Miz, maybe, as I predicted, Del Rio going to be making that step up. But there is room for that one or two other guys to get to that top thing, and this is why I think SmackDown's roster is looking on paper a little bit better. Whether they'll get the 10 points, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, with Raw, there are some mid-carders that could step up, but there does definitely look like a distinctive split from the top card to the mid-card on Raw. But let's see who gets the first points then. The first points in our SmackDown versus Raw competition. And I've gone for SmackDown Live to take the 5 points from the top card. I just think it looks better. I think, you know, Lesnar and Chris Jericho maybe would have swayed me possibly to go for that. But for me personally, SmackDown Live has the better of the two the two top card superstars, if you see what I'm saying. Let's go into the mid-card then. Let's do Raw. Neville, Cesaro, Sheamus, Big Show, Titus O'Neil, Darren Young, Sin Cara, Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, Strowman, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel. This mid-card is bigger than Raw, bigger than SmackDown, and has the potential to be a good mid-card. But I don't think yet it's a strong mid-card. I think it's a weak point of Monday Night Raw. I really do. Neville, Cesaro, Sheamus, they're fine. You know, they're okay mid-carders. But then you've got the likes of Big Show, which will do the job. But then you've got a lot of people that just aren't there yet. Titus O'Neil, I'm not yet sold on. Darren Young, still not yet sold on. Sin Cara is somebody that could. You know, and I feel like them, the ones that I'm about to say, bar Mark Henry, all could be something special in the mid-card. Say Titus O'Neil, Darren Young, Sin Cara, Jack Swagger, Strowman, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel. Could be a big time for him if he splits from the Social Outcasts, because I do rate him as a top superstar. But yeah, that just looks like a weak point for me on the Raw roster, the mid-card. And I just don't think the mid-card's strong enough. But the Cruiserweight Classic might save Raw's bacon in that front. Let's go on to SmackDown Live's mid-card. We've got the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, Baron Corbin, Ziggler, Cruz, Kane, Kalisto, Ryder, Rowan, and Raleigh. 5 points goes to SmackDown Live. They're 10 points up. 10-0 so far to SmackDown Live. I'm not even going to debate about that. For me, it's a smaller mid-card, but it's a better mid-card. If you're looking at the 3 people that you'd say are good on the mid-card of Raw, Neville, Cesaro, Sheamus. Everyone else is kind of meh. SmackDown, Miz, Corbin, Ziggler, Cruz, Kalisto. I've already named some there. You then got Ryder, who I wouldn't say is meh. I'd say he's very, very good. A massive chance for someone like Zack Ryder to really make a stand for it in WWE and on SmackDown Live. So as I say, SmackDown up 10-0. Let's look at the tag team divisions. Raw, New Day, SAWFT, SWAT, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, Golden Truth, Dudley Boys, and the Shining Stars. They've got arguably the 3 best teams on the roster, WWE roster in general, in New Day, Enzo and Cass and Anderson and Gallows. They've then got Golden Truth and Shining Stars, Dudley Boys that are a bit meh. But then if you look onto SmackDown, American Alpha, that's a top team. That's what I would say they've now instantly gone up there as in that top 3, top 4 that you just struggle to split. The Usos, maybe looking here now, they are probably going to be faces. Ascension, chance for them to reinvent themselves. Breeze Dango and Vaudevillains as well. I think the first 5 points go to Raw for the better tag team division, and that does mean that we are 5-10 to 10-5 to SmackDown so far. But I think here, it's clear to me that there's not enough depth for a secondary tag team title, and it needs to be just one tag team title. For me personally, just not enough depth. If we're saying there's not enough depth for the Divas division, it's the same amount of superstars, well, same amount of teams or superstars. So yeah, I just don't personally think there's enough depth. Not yet. Yeah, so for me, you got to keep that one tag team title. And New Day switch from brand to brand, can defend their title on either. No news as of yet on that very point, whether they're doing that or not. So we'll be interested to see when that happens. Let's go on to the women's division. Raw, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax. Very happy she came up. A lot of people saying she's not ready. I think she is. Paige, Summer Rae, Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke. SmackDowns, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Naomi, who I actually had forgotten existed, but I do love her. I think she's great. Alexa Bliss, happy she's up. Eva Marie, fuck off. And Carmella. There's a couple of picks I just want to sort of scribble out. Eva Marie, Alicia Fox, Summer Rae. And then we have a kind of roster which I can't split. Hence why they get a share of the points. Both get 5 points here. Well, actually, I suppose we should do it with 2.5, shouldn't we, if they're sharing the points. So 2.5 points for them, which means that changes to that, and that changes to that. So yeah, for me, you've got Charlotte, Sasha, Nia as the main 3 on Raw. On SmackDown, you've got Lynch, Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and then you've got, with the mid-card, on Raw, Paige, Brooks, and on SmackDown, Naomi and Carmella, and then you've got the kind of picks you don't want to see. It's not a massively big women's division roster. I'd like to see... Bayley could still come up. That is still a possibility. Bayley could be the surprise partner for Sasha at Battleground. But I just feel like Bayley, it's time for her to move away from NXT, surely. As of yet, not yet has she moved away from NXT. But I feel like if they brought... And I know it would be detrimental to the women's division in NXT, but they really do need to sign some new divas, because I want... because I want to see Asuka and Bayley on the main roster. If you bring them two on, let's say you put Bayley on SmackDown and Asuka on Raw, you are starting to look at a really strong women's division. You really are. It's the same with the tag team division. I just felt like the Revival needed to be there as well, and we need to have the Revival on SmackDown, and that would have just been a hell of a lot stronger. That's why, and I look again and I say, we are a few picks away from this being a very, very strong show. I think we're one tag team away from the tag team division being pretty much there. The Revival would have been there. I think we're 2 picks away from the Divas division being really, really strong. That being, who I just said, Asuka and Bayley coming on. And then the mid-card to upper card, Joe, Nakamura, Austin Aries, they come on. That looks a hell of a lot stronger. You know, you give Nakamura to SmackDown, you give Joe to Raw, and you give Austin Aries to SmackDown as well. And I think the shows look fantastic. I think it's a missed opportunity in WWE. I understand that bringing all them people up for NXT would be detrimental to the brand, but they have signed a hell of a lot of people. That cannot be disbanded. Recently, they've signed a lot of people, and always NXT is able to redevelop themselves. Samoa Joe could do double duty. He could for 3 months. Same with Asuka. Yeah, so it would be possible there to get that going. But anyway, that's not what WWE decided to do. Maybe they will in the future. But yeah, 2.5 each for the women's division. As for the commentary team, Raw, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. And on SmackDown, I can't say his name, Ronaldo, or however you say his name, great commentator, JBL, and David Ortonga, I believe. Let me just check that, actually. Yeah. Let's check here. So, Raw, Michael Cole, Graves, Saxton. Then we have Ronaldo, JBL, and Ortonga. No Jerry Lawler. That's a big shock, really. But I'm happy. Looks like I think the SmackDown. Well, I think it's even. So I think you've got the Graves and Ronaldo. You can't really split them. I'm happy with that. Michael Cole, I don't dislike him. The only weak links on each roster is kind of Byron and JBL. So you have to give 2.5 to each as well. Which means as it stands at the moment, heading into that bonus 10 points, it's 15-10 to SmackDown. Who do I think has the better roster? I personally think Raw's roster is strong point, the tag team division. Its weak point, the mid-card. SmackDown's, the weak point, the tag team division. The strong point, the upper to mid-card. My bonus 10 points and the show, the brand, taking the lead in MrWWEcam's SmackDown versus Raw point system competition, whatever the hell you want to call it, is SmackDown Live. They have 25 points. They are up 15 points on Raw after the draft. Raw has some work to do. It's as simple as that. So 10-25. I will create a thread on Twitter. Follow me at MrWWEcam, where I will be keeping a running score of Raw versus SmackDown as we go on. So yeah, I'll be putting that up about 6 o'clock because I want to make sure everyone's seen the video before they see that, because obviously I don't want people to have this video spoiled, because that's basically what we spoke about the whole time. But yeah, apologies if you didn't enjoy the review. I know it's a very long one. And so hopefully you enjoyed it. The draft, still apprehensive, as I say. I do feel we're 2 people away from the women's division being set. 1 tag team away from the tag team division being set. Couple of mid-carders away and a couple of top talent. That could have all come from NXT. Awesome returning stars. Khalito, MVP, John Morrison, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. You know, that could have been it there. We maybe not even had to delve into NXT. Maybe that will come in the future. Who knows? And I suppose you could say, and I did see this on Twitter, why would you announce returns on SmackDown Live on the draft with just an image of the person coming up? You would probably leave it to your show. Don't be surprised if Raw and SmackDown on their first live shows together bring back a couple of stars as just announcements as people that they've picked up. Don't be surprised if that does happen. And Bayley cannot be that long away from being on the main roster. I know a lot of people are very disappointed that she wasn't actually a part of this draft. So as I say, 25-10 to SmackDown Live. It's a shocker. Raw, the flagship, trailing behind. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see how this battle between Raw and SmackDown goes and how it continues. Can Raw peg back SmackDown? you feel like the ratings, they'll probably be 5 points there for Raw each and every week. But the matches, the segments, the better show, the rating of the show, it's anyone's game. And if you've got any other suggestions for what you'd want to see me do in regards to any other points that, at the moment, as I say, we've got ratings, 5 points. We've got best match, 5 points. Best show, 10 points. Best segment, 5 points. And then the show rating out of 10 as well. If you've got any other ideas of extra points that could be there, leave it down in the comments below. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like. And I'll see you next time. Actually, leave your thoughts on the draft down below. And hell, if you want to get involved in the point system as well, do so. You can do it with me. Do the 5 points. And we'll have a running thing. We'll see how similar ours are. We'll have a battle. So, you know, who do you think had the better upper card? Who do you think had the better mid card? And add it all up and put your points down in the comment section below. And we'll see who is different. Because I would have thought that there'll be some people who will have Raw as the better roster. Because if you think Raw's upper card's better than SmackDown's, that then makes it go down, SmackDown down 5, Raw up 5, and then if you think Raw, it could basically switch round by us disagreeing on one thing. Incredible. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.